I'm a little bit too old for all that shaking. Hey, y'all. Hey. Pastor Vontae's not here, but go ahead and do it for his sake. Go ahead and say it one time. Yeah. That's for you, Pastor Devontae. All right, grab a seat, grab a seat, grab a seat. Y'all doing okay? How many of you are back in school? Who's back in school? All right, okay. I taught middle school for a lot of years. Yes, yes, okay. How many of you haven't started yet? Okay. How many of you is because school hasn't started, you just not going to school? Which one is it? So, okay, I hope that's the case. School, you started school. How many of you are homeschool? You can start when you want to. Ooh, must be nice. Must be real nice. All right, well, tonight, if I can get my friends to start heading this way, tonight we are going to talk about community. Say community. I'm going to have some friends with me tonight, too. We're going to talk about community. How many of you have a crew? Who has a crew out there? All right, you got your crew. Okay, okay. I didn't have a crew. All right, okay. I see some crews. Uh-oh. Chill, we not there yet. We not there yet. I love it. Okay. All right. Can we say it? Chill. All right, chill. All right. I love that you're excited about your leaders. So some of you have a crew. I didn't have my crew till high school, but when I did, we had some really good times, really good memories, laugh, things we take to the grave and we won't talk about ever. So we had some fun crews. I went to Lamar High School. Who's at Lamar? Hey, yeah. So, all right, Lamar. So, did you know community is biblical? It's actually biblical, okay? Some of you are real smart and you already know that. Awesome. Community is actually biblical. Jesus had his crew. Who was his crew? What were they called? The disciples, yeah. There were, how many of them? Please say. 12. Oh, Lord, 12. 12. Say it with me, 12. 12. If you don't remember anything tonight, 12 disciples. There were 12 disciples. And the cool thing about Jesus and his crew was they walked together, they talked together, they prayed together. And the cool thing about even though he had his crew, Jesus would still find time to draw away, be alone, talk to God as well. So it's cool to have a crew, and it's also cool to make sure you have your time alone with God too. But Jesus' crew was with him wherever he went. He called them higher. They supported each other, and it was really cool to have that community. So tonight, we're going to talk about community. And I have some friends that are going to talk with us about community. Give them a hand. So I'm going to have them actually introduce themselves. So they're going to introduce themselves. They're going to tell you how long they were in a life group, and then what life group were they in, and what life group do they lead now. Okay, ladies first. We'll start with Miss, who's going to introduce herself, Jaden.
I'm Jaden. I think I was in a life group for 3 years. I was in Southeast, which is great. Love Southeast. I lead West Side Life Group though, and sometimes Southeast. Yeah.
Awesome. Give it up for Jaden.
My name's Rebecca. I was probably in a life group for like 2 years, maybe my junior and senior year, I'd say. And now I lead Southeast Life Group.
Hi, I'm Gabriella. I think I was in a life group my junior and senior year, but we all go to a young adult life group now as well. And I was in the Southwest life group. I lived in the West Side though, but I drove all the way to Southwest because I love Mama Shan. She was my life group leader. And now I lead Southwest also.
Southwest.
Okay. What's up, everybody? Oh, wow. My name is Anand Faraji. I was in a life group low-key since 8th grade. So it was like 5 years.
He snuck in.
But I definitely snuck in. I was part of, you see it. I was part of this. I was part of the Southwest Life Group, and now I get the opportunity to lead the Southwest Life Group. So shout out Southwest.
Hello, hello. Oh, shoot.
Chill.
That's crazy.
Jesus.
That's
All
crazy.
right. All right.
So if you don't know already, my name is David, and I was in Southwest Life Group for 5 years, probably 6, honestly, but
He was
5 years.
sneaking in,
The
too.
fun fact, the life group was at my house, so I've seen all the life groups happen. So yeah.
And what life group do you lead now?
Big C Central. Yeah.
All right. Rounding it up.
Hello. My name is JoJo. I was in a life group since my freshman year of high school, so like 4 years. And I would go all the way from the north side to southwest for life group for about 3 years.
Southwest?
Then my senior year, I started being in the north side for life group. So
Is that when they started winning, when you joined Northside?
they won one without me, and then my
Right.
last year they won one with me.
Yes,
we
yes.
just keep it going. And then now I am the north side life group leader.
Woo, give it up for all of our life group leaders. Give them a huge hand. Well, what you heard, which was unique, is that each and every one of them actually were a part of a life group when they were in high school, and some of them snuck in middle school too. And now they're leading life group. And first of all, I just want to say I'm so proud of each and every one of you because I've watched your journey. So another huge shout out to them. Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about life groups and small groups and the impact of that. How many of you went to camp? How many of you went to camp? Oh, all right. Okay, well, if you went to camp, yeah. Oh, Lord. All right. Come back. I won't say that one again. All right. I have no control in this room today. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay, so obviously y'all had a good time. I'm not going to say that word again. Obviously y'all had a good time. So we're going to talk about small groups and life groups there. So, Anand, what was one of the funniest moments you all shared in your life group at camp?
Oh man, my guy, he's in the room too. It's so crazy. So basically,
Now keep it brief. Now keep it.
I got you. So basically, during life group, the rule was if you fell asleep while we were discussing stuff, because what we did, we would go back to the dorm and we would have life group, and I let them lay in the bed, but I let them know if you fell asleep, I can't control what happens to you. So we had a thing to where if somebody fell asleep during our conversation, we would have 4 boys crowd their bed and shake the whole bunk. And I don't know, during camp, they played the video, but my guy Marvin, in the back, if you know him, he fell asleep, and they got him. They got him good, but that was definitely the funniest moment.
Another memory, something he will never forget. I think we caught that on video, too. Yeah,
They
that
had,
was
the
really
World Star-
interesting.
The World Star filter on the side.
Yes. So fun times, definitely. Rebecca, funniest moment in life group at camp?
That's so hard. I don't know. During life group, me and Jaden were in the same cabin during life group. So, Jaden, do you have any funny moments from our life group?
I don't think it was during life group, but
Okay.
right
With the
after,
girls? Uh-huh.
Right
Yes.
after, we're getting ready for Squad Wars. Rebecca and I were standing outside the dorm. We walked in. All of the girls had full mustaches and beards.
Yes.
What did they have?
Full mustaches and beards.
Mustache and beards,
I don't
okay.
know if y'all missed it, but for Buck Wild Day on Thursday, they went crazy.
They went crazy,
It was the
right?
funniest.
I
It was
love it.
funny.
I love it. I love, so you guys would agree there are some fun moments during life groups over the years, yes? What about, and I know one of the rules that we have in life group is that what's said in life group stays in life group, right? That's something I'm sure you guys heard. If you've been a small group, even if you didn't go to camp, perhaps you've experienced a small group also. So think about the most impactful memory that you can remember from camp. Most impactful memory. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I was gonna say your name, so we're on the same wavelength. Go ahead.
No, so it's Monday and everybody's arriving, and Spider-Man had the smallest squad, but we had this one kid. His name is Daniel, and he was like very adamant about like JoJo, like my brother's not on the same squad with me. Like I don't know if I want to come, and I don't know how I feel about that. And I was just like, hey man, like just listen, like camp is gonna go by. You're gonna have a good time. You're gonna have fun. And he was just like, okay. And we had brain games later that night, and like he was the guy who went on stage and started answering all the questions right. And by the end of the camp, like he was like our number one guy who was hyping up the whole camp. So that was like something like so valuable. And like what we didn't know about him was like he was like from India, moved to London, then moved to Houston. And like he just knew so much about the Bible, and he was like speaking stuff over me, and that to me, like as a leader, I was like, this is so impactful that like one of my students is not just speaking life into like other students, but also to his leader. And I was like, man, this is like really cool. Like this is what being a leader is all about. Is like getting to see these students grow over a span of like a couple of hours is just insane. So it warmed my heart that I got to experience that.
That's so cool. I love that. Yeah, we can give a hand for that. We can give a hand for that. Yeah, I love how God uses those moments to make impactful memories and things that change people for a lifetime. Gabriella.
I was gonna go next too, so that's.
Right on point.
I had one of my girls. She wasn't in my dorm, but I always like chase after her on Wednesday nights, and her leader called me, and I think it was like midnight, and she's like, something's wrong with her, like she says she'll only talk to you about it. And I'm like, okay, like I'm on my way. And I was doing patrol that night, so I was already like going around the whole campsite, and so I meet her outside, and she's telling me about her problems, but at the end of it, she's also like, when I started coming to Lakewood, like I hated it, and I was like an atheist, and like I just didn't want to be here. And she was like, during camp, I feel like I could actually like feel something in the room, and I don't know how to explain it or put it into words, but I feel like it's God. And I just thought that was a beautiful moment, because she's been coming since we started youth in January, and it like finally to see the fruit of that at camp was amazing. And it just also speaks to like what we're here for as leaders. You guys can call us at any time ish, and we'll always pick up, and like we'll be there for you guys. And it didn't matter that it was 1 a.m. and we were sitting outside this cabin getting bit by mosquitoes. Like what mattered was that she was like expressing what she was feeling, and like how far she had came, and where God brought her from.
That's good. Love that. Thank you, Gabriella. I love that. David.
So my story is actually similar to JoJo's. I'm gonna put him on the spot. Levi, who had no idea who this kid was. His brother had always came to youth, and I saw him at the orientation. I was like, who are you? Where'd you come from? And so he was like, I don't really come on Wednesdays. I don't really like Wednesdays. I'm not really feeling it. And so he goes to camp, whole different kid. Completely. This man was probably one of my hypest kids, going crazy. And I saw him last week, and he was like, yeah, no, I'm going to be here every week now. Like, I love it here. Like, I'm having such a good time. And so, yeah, that's probably my most impactful moment.
Awesome. I love that. All right, Levi. How many of you left with an impactful moment from camp or in a life group? Maybe you've gone to a life group or a small group, and you can remember an impactful moment that you've had. Raise your hands. Let me see out there. Yeah. Leaders, look around. Yeah. You helped with that. All right. So next question. So think back to when you before you went into a life group for the first time as a student, what were you feeling or what were you thinking before you went? Rebecca.
Like I said, I didn't join until I was pretty late in my high school journey. And I think my first thought before in high school, I was very shy and to myself, more so than I am now. So it was not something that was like on my list of things to do. Also, I was just usually busy with school on Fridays anyways. That was just kind of my like scapegoat of getting out of it. But my leaders here at youth like really chased me down, and they just said, try it. Like just one day when you're not doing anything on a Friday, just try it, give it a chance. And I did, and I fell in love with it. Those leaders ended up coming to like my games on Fridays and like being in parts of my life where like I didn't expect them to be. And that really turned it around, and like I met people here through that life group. So I think if you do have any hesitations, like just try it. Like if you have a leader that's been telling you like give it a chance, just give it a chance and see if you like it, and I'm sure you will, because all of these leaders here are great and they're the kind of leaders that will chase you down. So that's my advice. I would
They
just
will
say
run.
try it.
They have tennis shoes. They will run. That is so awesome. I love that, Rebecca. You spoke about something because you said they continue to walk life with you. So it's not just about coming once a month or twice a month. It's literally walking life with you. You said showing up at their games. I know some of you showed up. A lot of leaders showed up at graduations this past year. And down the road, I know I led life group for many, 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 many years. And I've watched. I've gone to weddings. I've seen babies born. I've watched them, go through a lot beyond just high school. So life group is just that. It's a journey for life with you. So that's amazing. Anybody else want to share kind of what they were thinking before walking into a life group and kind of maybe you didn't want to go at all? Yes, Jaden, I'm looking at you.
I think I got invited by a friend to go to life group, and I was like, I don't know any of your friends. I don't know the people that's going to be there. And I was really nervous about being like an outsider to a different friend group. But as I went, and it just really changed my life. I was so excited to go to life group on Friday. Like it was what I was looking forward to while I was at school. So like Rebecca said, I would just give it a try. You never know. And you never know the many people that you're going to meet. Like Rebecca and I actually were in a life group together. Now we lead together and we serve you guys together. So it's awesome.
I love that. Thank you, Jaden. So I'm going to ask you one more question back from when you were in life groups as a student. Watching you guys grow up, literally from middle school to now, almost all of you, I know a lot of your stories. So I'm not going to call you out. I'm going to look over here. But I know that through your years of high school, there are some things that shook your world in your lives. Talk about perhaps how life group impacted you through those times in high school that were your hardest.
I think for me,
I won't call names this time. I'm going to let y'all just share.
I think for me, at the time, when I was going through this moment, Arthur, who's one of our worship director, he was my life group leader, and I remember there was a day where I pulled him aside, and I was like, I just found out the craziest news, and I was like, I've gone about 15, 16 years of my life, and I found out I had a half brother, and I was like, whoa, I don't know how to take this. And I remember I went to Arthur in that very next life group. He didn't say to the rest of the life group what happened, but I remember he probably doesn't remember, but I remember he was like, guys, let's just lay hands on JoJo and let's just pray for him, that God gives him strength and that God continues to do amazing things through him. And for me growing up, I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. I never really felt that brotherly, fatherly love before, the way that Arthur was giving it to me in that moment throughout that part of my life. And I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, I was like, I want to be able to give this love to somebody. And I think that was kind of like the start to like the fire of like, maybe I do want to be a life group leader when I get older. Like, I want to make this type of impact that somebody made for me. And that was something that like started it, and like here I am now. And like I'm trying to do the same thing for like you guys and like the guys that are in my life group, and I'm praying for them constantly while I'm at home whenever I have the chance. And I think that was kind of like one of like the biggest moments where I was just like, whoa, like this is what life group is about. It's literally about doing life together.
Love that. Thank you, JoJo, for sharing that. Yeah. Does one more person want to share?
The way I was looked at is crazy. All eyes. But for me, high school, I didn't really like have like friends at high school. So life group was something I really looked forward to, because literally like life group, my two best friends. Like, so I think like all my relationships all came from life group. So yeah, that's really like, it really helped me get through high school. Like a good group of kids, you know?
Positive. Go ahead, Anon.
That's crazy. I think, so my sophomore year, my parents separated. And, you know, the thing for me, like, I was really bad about opening up about stuff like that, because I was kind of looked at as the guy who was like, oh, Anand, he's so happy. He's, you know, just a great guy. I can go to him for advice for anything. And I didn't want me opening up about that situation make it feel like to others that they couldn't come to me with stuff like that. And so I didn't really open up to anybody. But, you know, when you have Mama Chance as your life group leader, it gets really hard to kind of like hide stuff like that, you know? And honestly, I don't even think I even opened up to her like in the moment. But like, and even now, like, she's still so upset at me because I didn't say anything, but she knew something
He
was
lied
wrong.
to me. No.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, just if as a praying mother, like, she's gonna know immediately, so there was no point in me hiding it. But I think the biggest thing for me was just like, she just kept showing up. Like, she kept being there for me. Like, I continued to go to life group, and like I was dealing with this pain kind of like internally. But you know, when you have leaders who love you and people like Mama Chance who are checking on you, like, are you good? Are you okay? And like, you can say like, yeah, you're okay, and they can see right through the lie, but they'll continue to, you know, I think show up and still show love to you and welcome you in and provide community. And I think life group also offered that. It kind of offered a place for me to kind of just like get away from like the problems of at home and like the division at home and everything like that. And it offered some sense of like community, which like at that moment I wasn't really. I was in a broken home, so I didn't really know, like, there wasn't really a unity aspect that was in my house at the moment. And so for me to be able to go to Mama Chance's house and be able to see like this big group of kids we were all there all for the same reason, we all connected in the same way, we were all there for Jesus. And it was cool because even though like those people, or most of them, didn't really know what I was walking through, they provided this sense of community and unity that I really needed in that moment. So yeah, that's what I would
Thank
say.
you, Anand, for sharing. I'm going to ask this final question to Miss Gabriella. What would you say to someone out there that says, you know what, I want that community? I want to be a part of a life group. What could they do to be a part of a life group or community?
First of all, I just want to say, you guys just try it. I know my story's kind of like Rebecca's, where I was like really, really shy. And I was also like not the best kid in high school. So I was like, these kids are going to judge me. Like, this leader's going to like just tell me that, you know, I'm not going to heaven and, you know, say all these things. And it was like the complete opposite. I mean, I showed up and they welcomed me with open arms. I had never felt like that type of acceptance before. You know how like you go to school and you find like a group of friends and you're like, oh, we have all this stuff in common. But like at life group, it was just like immediate family. And you didn't have to say that you were family. You didn't have to, you know, like commit to going or anything. It was just immediate, like loving and lifting all the time. So I would say just try it. And if I could get all the life group leaders to stand up in the crowd. Do we have any life group leaders? We got Josh over there.
Miss Oliver, are you out there? Life group assistants, John, are you out there? John, yes. Am I missing anybody else? All right.
These are
is so awesome. So awesome. So you've heard a lot about, and I want you to give this panel an amazing hand. What I love about when Gabriella came to Life Group, she didn't come alone. She came maybe first time to check it out to see, I don't know. But then when she came back, she brought like a whole car full of kids that just walked. She was like a little duck, and all the ducklings were walking behind her. They were just all coming in, and I love that. So tonight, we're hoping you're grabbing a little bit about what community is. Look around, look to the left, look to the right. This is a great community to be a part of. I'm gonna have our life group leaders join us on either side of the stage. And I just wanna talk a little bit before we close tonight, because it would be crazy of me to talk about community and unity and crews and think that everybody in here has that. Because I know there were times in my life when I didn't. In college, in middle school especially, beginning of high school, it was lonely. And I don't want to overlook the possibility that there's someone in the room that does feel alone, or someone in the room that does feel isolated, or perhaps you come every single week and you don't feel seen. First, I want to tell you that God says He never leaves you. You're never alone. He is with you. You may feel lonely, but you're never alone because He is with you. There are amazing leaders in this room that are ready to walk with you, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but throughout life. I've seen it. I can look around this room and look in the eyes of so many of these leaders and say, I've seen it. I've seen them walk and others walk with them. So if everybody would take a moment and just close your eyes.